All right. Good morning, all. We are concluding the Parsha of Pekudei, the last Parsha of the book of Shemos, the book of Exodus. And in all synagogues, when we finish the book, when we finish any of the 5 books, we all declare together, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek, be strong, and together let us be strengthened.
Be strong,
and together we will be strengthened.
Quick question, Rabbi.
Yes.
The Hazak that's in our Chaim Miller book of Moses, it looks like it's a different font size. Does the Torah with the Hazak, is there a different font size?
Okay, in the Torah does not say Chazak.
Oh, okay.
So we all declare. Yes, good question. We all declare afterwards with those words, Chazak, v'nis chazek, but it does not say that in the Torah. It's not part of the Torah.
How about in the Chumash?
Well, in the Chumash, it's there. It's there for us to declare it, but it's not in the Torah.
Got it.
It means, as we conclude a book of the Torah, the idea is, first of all, the strength that we've concluded a book, but we don't stop there, we continue to the next one. So the book of Exodus we've concluded with the encapsulation of the fulfillment of making the sanctuary in the desert. So here we have the complete implementation of this sanctuary. We have the inauguration, the first 7 days of inauguration of the sanctuary in the desert. And it concludes with, after it describes how everything was set up and ready for the inaugural offerings, etc., it concludes with the following verses on page 587. Chapter 40, verses 34 and onwards. It says, the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of God filled the tabernacle. And then, in verse 36 it says, when the cloud rose up from over the tabernacle, the children of Israel would set out on all their journeys. But if the cloud did not rise up, they didn't set out until the day that it rose. For God's cloud would remain on the tabernacle by day, and there was fire on it by night, before the eyes of the entire house of Israel in all their encampments.
Nice.
Okay, very nice. Basically saying that throughout their encampments, as long as the cloud of glory was upon the sanctuary, upon this tabernacle, that's when they knew that they would stay put. And then when the cloud would rise up, that's when they knew that they would have to, get ready for their travels, on to the next place. And this would continue for 40 years. And in total, there were 42 encampments in the desert. Now, let's get a little technical here. We're talking about the end of the book of Exodus, and it's wrapping up this book of Exodus. The making of the sanctuary takes up a great portion of the book of Exodus. A total of 5 portions of the book of Exodus deal with the sanctuary. Whereas the first part of the book of Exodus deals with going out of Egypt and the beginning of the nationhood of Israel, the peoplehood of Israel, transitioning from a family to a people. Here we're summing it all up. How do we wrap all this up? What is really the theme of the book of Exodus? How is this all wrapped up? And with these final words. So in general, the summary of the first two books of the Torah. The first book of the Torah, the book of Genesis, is what it implies. The beginning. It's the beginning. The beginning of history. The beginning of all existence. The beginning of people. Of humanity. The beginning of the Jewish people, where we begin as a family. But then, the book of Exodus begins with the people of Israel, the nation of Israel. And with this nation of Israel, it goes hand in hand with our purpose. That's why immediately after going out of Egypt, we received the Torah. So in other words, the formation of the people of Israel goes hand in hand with our purpose, which is receiving the Torah, which would be a light unto the nations. But what is the objective of the Torah? So with that, immediately we go into making a sanctuary. Because the objective of the Torah is to reveal the concept of making a dwelling place for God in this world. Revealing how this world is really a divine place. A place where God is found. Where there's a higher meaning and purpose in everything. So it's creating a sanctuary. Making a sanctuary for God. This is the raison d'être of the Jewish people. This is what it means to be the people of Israel. We receive the Torah, and the Torah is to make a dwelling place for God in this world. Okay. I understand then, where it says that the cloud of glory rested upon the sanctuary, because that really is somewhat of a physical manifestation, a visual of the divine being present. Got it. But now this last section, the last two verses, that when the cloud would lift up, the Jewish people would travel, and then when it would rest, that's when they knew that it was time to rest, to begin their encampments, and it would continue again once the cloud would rise up again. Why is that here? Now, the fourth book of the Torah deals primarily with the travels of the Jewish people in the desert. And in fact, these two verses are mentioned also in the book of Numbers, the book of Bamidbar, which deals with the travels of the Jewish people in the desert. Why is this mentioned here? Why do we wrap up? Why is this all wrapped up? How does these two verses conclude and wrap up the book of Exodus? So here is an insight from the Rebbe, a very empowering one. So the Rebbe pointed out that this is the theme of the book of Exodus. It's not just a hodgepodge. We go from slavery to peoplehood, receiving Torah, making a sanctuary. The Rebbe looks at this as expressing the book of Exodus is really thematically expressing what our purpose, the raison d'être of the Jewish people. We are the people of Israel. We are to be a light unto the nations. And through the Torah, we have a task of revealing the divine in this world, making this world into a divine sanctuary. But what about these two verses, the last two verses? Cloud rising up, people traveling, Jewish people traveling. I might think, if these two verses were not part of the book of Exodus, I might think that the sole purpose and the implementation of what it means to have the divine presence would be only in the temple, in the sanctuary, in the temple, in Jerusalem, where eventually the temple will be. But how about when the Jewish people will be exiled from the land of Israel? What now? So we're out of Israel. Here we have alluding to what is our purpose when we are outside of Israel, when we are traveling, when we are traversing through history in all different countries, as the Jewish people will continue their travels. No matter where we are, which country we're in, no matter when we're in these countries, no matter where, no matter when, our goal and objective is still the same. It doesn't change. Our goal and objective isn't, well, when we're in Israel, this is our purpose. When we're outside of Israel, well, we're chased out. So I guess in order for us to survive in diaspora, we have a different modus operandi. We have a different, playbook on how we are to be outside of Israel. Back in Israel, different playbook. The Torah tells us and alludes to, yes, there will be difficult moments that we will have to travel in history, travel through different countries, and it may not always be pleasant. And we're certainly going to be in diaspora outside of Israel. And the temple itself will be in ruins. Nevertheless, our goal and objective is still the same. Our goal and objective is to reveal how this world is a divine sanctuary. And at times, that presence of God will be like a cloud, and it will be at times like a fire. Also alluding to, there will be times which will be light, times of darkness. But do not allow that to define ourselves. Do not allow the circumstance. And this is a line, a concept which ties into the concept of Exodus. It's not just the beginning of this book is not just about the Jewish people becoming a people. And it just happened to be that we were in Egypt, enslaved, and then the plagues, which makes a fascinating story for Passover. The whole concept of becoming a Jewish people is not allowing our circumstances to define us. We must break free from Egypt. Mitzrayim is limitations. That's what Mitzrayim means. Boundaries, limitations. We are the people who do not allow circumstances to define them. We define our circumstances by our purpose. That purpose is divine, our divine mission, to be a light unto the nations through the Torah. And as we journey through history, as we go from place to place, we continuously do not allow circumstances to define us. These verses are the closing verses of the book of Exodus, the book of freedom, the book of definition of who we are as a people. And that we transition to making the statement, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek. Be strong, and together we'll be strengthened. Not just that we finish the book. Yes, we finish the book and we continue on to the next book. That's the Chazak. But it's a deeper meaning in the words of Chazak, be strong. We just finished with a statement that we're going to go into exile, that we're going to be traversing through nations, there's going to be challenging times. Gewalt! Imagine, you're reading this and this is alluding to going through exile. It doesn't spell it out, but it's alluding to it. This is not too encouraging. These are words of strength, though, reminding the people of Israel, yes, you will be going through challenges, but know that the purpose of these challenges is to fulfill what it means revealing the divine in this world. And that's why you cannot be defined by the circumstances, because your purpose is to reveal the divine. That's why you must define the circumstances. And that's why we emphasize, be strong. Again, be strong. And together as a people, we will be strengthened to fulfill this mandate. And to fulfill it with joy, with inspiration, and with vision.
Okay. Thank you.
Chazak. 6 o'clock today.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Very good.
Chazak.
It was a good week of together today. Like
Thank
and then
you.
going back to the Alex and Alabama getting crushed. And
Yes.
yesterday, how the individuals just important as the group because Hazak.
Good enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good week. Thank you. Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
When you say
Be strong,
be strong. There's
There's
organizations that stand up for Jewish people and for Israel. When someone says lies or misinformation about Jewish people. So isn't it good to support those kind of organizations?
Of course, it's very good to support those organizations. But don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in defining ourselves by correcting the narrative. That's not who we are. Yes, there are organizations that are watchdog organizations, and that's important. But let us not get stuck that our purpose is to correct the narrative to the world. Frankly, I don't care about their narrative. Period. I do not care about their narrative. I have to define my purpose, and this is my narrative. Yes, there are watchdog organizations. That's important. But frankly, I couldn't care less about their narrative. You asked my opinion.
Hazak.
You
fellas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
A wonderful
A
weekend.
wonderful weekend, too.
You too.
Too.